Did you know that a Super Bowl win can not only change an NFL team's history, but also the financial future of the city that they represent?
For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
God is good.
Well, today my AI assistant TR and I will examine how the Eagles Super Bowl win is creating ripple effects across the entire Philadelphia economy. From job creation and tourism to tax revenue, it's hitting it all. And here's something that you might not expect. This win is setting off a chain reaction that could reshape Philadelphia's financial future in ways that most people don't even realize. All right, so Tiara, where should we start this one off?
Let's explain how one game can boost a local economy by hundreds of millions of dollars.
Okay, yeah. I think that some people are probably doubting the hundreds of millions of dollars number right now, but it is completely reasonable, and here's why. So major events like the Super Bowl bring in direct spending, right? That's money spent by fans traveling to Philly to celebrate, locals splurging on game day parties, and businesses hosting events. But it doesn't stop there. Economists talk about something called the multiplier effect. So this is when that initial spending keeps circulating throughout the economy. So for Philly, this ripple effect is estimated to be over $500 million in economic activity.
So Ron, where does all that money come from?
Oh, good question, Tiara. So let's break it down step by step. So the first thing to understand is that it's not just one big check. It's a combination of several key factors. So let's kind of break each of those down. Fans from all over the country travel to Philly for celebrations like the Victory Parade and other post-game events. These visitors spend on hotels, restaurants, and transportation, as well as other things. So for example, in 2018, after the Eagles' previous Super Bowl win, visitor spending during Celebration Week alone was estimated at $273 million. Now, with inflation and an even larger fan base in 2025, this number is expected to be significantly higher. So tourism is the first factor that brings in a ton of money. Next, bars, restaurants, and shops experience a surge in foot traffic during and after the Super Bowl. So for example, sports bars hosting watch parties can see revenues jump by as much as 50% on game day alone. Philly's small businesses also benefit from fans buying everything from snacks to decorations for their own celebrations as well. Next, bars, restaurants, and shops experience a surge in foot traffic during and after the Super Bowl. For example, sports bars hosting watch parties can see revenues jump by as much as 50% on game day alone. Philly's small businesses also benefit from fans buying everything from snacks to decorations for their own celebrations at their own houses. That said, the second factor is increased spending at local businesses. Next, Eagles fans are known for their loyalty and for their spending habits. So after the win, they set a record for merchandise sales within the first 24 hours. Jerseys, hats, and other team branded gear flew off shelves both locally and online, generating millions of dollars in revenue. In fact, championship merchandise sales often account for a significant portion of the economic impact in winning cities. So merchandise becomes the third factor that boosts those revenue numbers even higher. Now, all that spending on food, drinks, hotels, and merchandise, that means that there is more sales tax that gets collected by the city.
And we all know how efficiently tax dollars are used. I'm sure Philly's potholes will be gone any day now.
Ironic.
You know, I'm originally from Chicago, so if Philly is anything like that, I'm very comfortable in saying that not a single dime will fix that issue. Anyway, this extra revenue can fund public services like schools and infrastructure improvements. For example, Philly's hospitality tax revenue alone saw a major boost following their 2018 Super Bowl win, which means the fourth biggest factor is the cumulative tax revenue that happens from the win. All right, Tiara, so what's next here?
Let's take a deeper dive into the numbers behind tourism.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sounds good because frankly, when you think of Philadelphia, you may not have tourism on your mind, but after a Super Bowl win, truth is those things kind of go right out the window. So think about it. When a team wins a Super Bowl, it's not just the locals celebrating. Fans from all over the country and sometimes even internationally, they will flock to the winning city to join in on the excitement. And when they do, they spend pretty big.
Ah, yes. Thousands of green-clad locusts swarming the city, leaving empty beer bottles and maxed-out hotels.
Okay, so as a football fan, I know this isn't really far from the truth, but for Philly, this means a surge in visitors who come for everything from the Victory Parade to post-game celebrations. These fans will book hotel rooms, dine at restaurants, and use local transportation services like taxis or rideshares as well. So let's break it down with an example. So imagine a group of 5 Eagles fans traveling from New York to Philly for the parade. They booked 2 hotel rooms for 2 nights at $200 each night. That's $800 right there. Then they grab dinner at a local restaurant, spending $70 each, which comes out to roughly $400 with tip. And maybe they hit up a bar afterward for another $50 each, or $250 total. When you add in gas or train tickets and some Eagles merch that they buy while they're there, suddenly that one group has spent over $1,500 in just 2 days. Now multiply that by tens of thousands of fans doing the same thing from all over the country and even internationally, and it's easy to see how those numbers can add up fast. But it's not just about individual spending. Events like this also attract corporate sponsors and media outlets who bring their own teams into town, booking venues and accommodations for weeks leading up to and after the event. All of this creates a massive influx of cash that benefits hotels, restaurants, transportation companies, and even smaller businesses like, souvenir shops. But tourism is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to Philly's big win. And while visitors are spending their money on food and lodging, there's another group that is absolutely raking in cash as well. Tiara, who's that?
Local businesses. Let's focus on them next.
So when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it wasn't just the fans who celebrated. Local businesses across Philly scored big too. So bars, restaurants, and shops, they saw a massive surge in foot traffic, turning game day excitement into serious profit. So take Broad Street, for example. This iconic area became the epicenter of celebrations, with fans packing into nearby bars and restaurants to watch the game and join the post-win festivities. Establishments like Wicked Wolf and Tradesman's, they sold out their Super Bowl watch party tickets weeks in advance, with some VIP packages going for as much as $450 per person. General admission tickets, which started at $50, they climbed to $175 as demand skyrocketed. So these ticket sales not only helped regulate crowd sizes, but also allowed businesses to hire extra staff and stock up on supplies for game day celebrations. Now, beyond bars and restaurants, shops selling Eagles-themed gear saw a rush of customers looking for last-minute jerseys, hats, and other merchandise to show their team spirit as well. Additionally, food delivery services reported a spike in orders as fans hosted watch parties at their own home. According to the US Chamber of Commerce, Super Bowl Sunday is the second largest food-centric event in the US, trailing only Thanksgiving. So this translates into big orders for pizza places, wing joints, and grocery stores stocking up on party essentials. And remember, this economic impact wasn't limited to game day alone, as days leading up to and following the Super Bowl brought sustained foot traffic as fans continued to celebrate. So Tiara, what's next here?
Let's talk about how merchandise sales played a huge role.
Perfect. So when the Eagles beat Kansas City, fans didn't just celebrate, they really do go on a shopping spree, right? So within the first 24 hours after the victory, Eagles fans set a record for the most championship merchandise sold by any sports team in history. According to Fanatics, the official e-commerce partner of the NFL, Eagles gear became the best-selling championship merchandise across all sports in that time frame, surpassing even their own record that was set back in 2018 after their first Super Bowl win. So here's how this impacts Philly's economy. So while a lot of these sales did happen online and benefit the national retailers, a significant portion comes from local stores and vendors selling jerseys, hats, and other team branded gear. And these sales, they don't just benefit store owners, they also create jobs for retail workers, and of course, they generate tax revenue for the city. So to give you an idea of the scale, Fanatics reported that orders were coming in at a record-breaking speed, setting 6 new company records for orders per minute in just the first hour after the game, which is kind of crazy because there's a lot of championships. In fact, Eagles merchandise was shipped to every US state in more than 60 countries worldwide, which showcases how a Super Bowl win can elevate a city's brand far beyond its own borders. But it's not just about the shirts and the hats. Fans also splurge on collectibles like, footballs signed by star players and commemorative plaques as well. These high-ticket items, they further boosted revenue and added to the overall economic impact. Now, Tiara, what other ways did this win pay off for the city?
Time to dive into tax revenue.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the big winner for the city. No surprise there, right? Every dollar spent on food, drinks, hotels, and merchandise, and even transportation that was taxed, which funnels millions of dollars into the public coffers. Philly's sales tax rate is 8%, which means that for every $100 spent, $8 goes straight into the city and state. In fact, after the Eagles' 2018 Super Bowl win, local and state governments saw an estimated $32 million in new tax revenue from all the spending during the celebration week alone. This year, with inflation-adjusted prices and even more fans participating, experts project that number could exceed $40 million. But it doesn't stop there. Taxes on hotel stays, known as occupancy taxes, also saw a major boost. Philly's hotel occupancy tax rate is 8.5%, and with thousands of out-of-town fans booking rooms for the parade and celebrations, this was another significant source of revenue. Now, according to Visit Philadelphia, hotels were at nearly full capacity during the Super Bowl week, with some charging double their usual rates due to demand. And let's not forget about alcohol sales either. So bars and restaurants not only collected sales tax, but also paid liquor excise taxes on every drink sold. But beyond the immediate financial gains, there is another layer to the story. TR?
There definitely is. Let's examine the long-term effects.
Yeah, for sure. And frankly, these long-term effects are how Philadelphia's financial future could be impacted in ways that most people really just don't even realize that I did mention in the intro of the video here. So Philly has long been known for its passionate sports culture, but this win solidifies its status as a city of champions. Major sporting victories like this can elevate a city's profile, making it more attractive for future events like conventions, concerts, or even another Super Bowl hosting bid. According to economic analysts, cities that build a reputation for hosting successful celebrations often see an uptick in tourism and business investment in years that follow. So the city's reputation is boosted big time by this. Now I know some of you are gonna say, but Ron, there was a giant fire and there was some looting after the game and this, that, and the other. In big cities, it's sad to say, that's pretty common. I was around when the Bulls won their three-peat. It was really bad. So it does help the city overall. But if you were anywhere near Broad Street after the game, you saw it firsthand, right? Fans of all ages and backgrounds, they came together to celebrate. And it wasn't just about football, it was about unity. That sense of pride can translate into higher community engagement, from increased voter turnout to, more support for local initiatives. This equates to civic pride getting a boost as well. But it is important to remember that a Super Bowl win can act as a catalyst for long-term growth. So for example, the NFL itself might reward Philly with more high-profile games or events because of its proven ability to rally fans and host these massive celebrations. Additionally, the Eagles' success could inspire other local teams like the Phillies or the Sixers to step up their game, creating kind of a ripple effect of competitiveness and excitement across Philly sports. But here's the thing, Philly is really just one piece of the puzzle, right? The financial impact of the actual Super Bowl game as a whole is far bigger than most people realize. Now, if you're curious to learn how this game fuels a billion-dollar economy, check out the video right here, or if that isn't interesting to you, check out this other video instead. But before you go, please make sure to subscribe to unlock financial success one AI chat at a time. Thanks for watching.